Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jessica Mraz. I'm the Communications Specialist for New Mexico Main Street. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're very happy to be presenting this webinar today. New Mexico Main Street is a program of the New Mexico Economic Development Department, and the New Mexico Economic Development Department is working as hard as they can to support New Mexico businesses during this time. This webinar series is part of that initiative. To learn more about New Mexico Economic Development programs, you can visit gonm.biz. Another initiative that they are also spearheading is the buynmlocal.com website. So if you own a business or if you are a Main Street district, please encourage your businesses to register their business on buynmlocal.com. That way we can buy gift cards and support our businesses during this time. Now, New Mexico Main Street's mission is downtown revitalization and redevelopment. You can learn more about us at nmmainstreet.org, and you can see on the map here that our programs are spread all around the state with Main Street districts, arts and cultural districts, frontier and Native American communities, and historic theaters. Now, I wanted to introduce our speakers today. We have Robyne Beaubien and Amy Barnhart. They are both New Mexico Main Street Revitalization Specialists. Robyne is a promotion and image development specialist. She has been with New Mexico Main Street since 2009, and she works on the promotion point, assisting communities with image development, branding, special events, retail activities, communications, and social media. Amy Barnhart is a preservation and nonprofit resource development specialist. She's been with New Mexico Main Street since 2013. She provides organizational development support to local organizations with an emphasis on fundraising and capacity building. Both of our speakers today are previous New Mexico Main Street executive directors, so they have firsthand experience with the program and economic revitalization. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Robyne, and then we're also going to be taking questions at the end. You can insert your questions in the chat box, and you should also see a handouts option on the right-hand side where you can download the presentation and follow along. Thanks, Robyne.
Thank you, Jessica. Again, welcome everybody. We are so glad you are joining us today, and we hopefully are going to share some information that is you might know about, but also might be useful and have a little bit different twist and find something that will benefit your businesses or the businesses you're assisting. So the first thing I want to talk with you about today is using Facebook to sell products. And a lot of us are on Facebook, and there's a lot of controversy about whether or not Facebook is a good tool for businesses. And I would say hands down, it is definitely a place that if you are a business out there today that you want to be, because it gives you a lot of options to connect with a very broad base of people and potentially sell some products. So some tools that are out there on Facebook right now that you can use to sell, and a business can use to sell, is by using their Facebook business page. And this, of course, is different from a Facebook personal account, which you have to set up a business page. So you need to be sure that your business page is actually a business page and not a personal account. Facebook has been cracking down on businesses that are operating off of personal accounts. But you can keep your personal account private and link to a business page that you can interact with people on. But it's a great place to sell. You can also use Facebook groups, Facebook live events, and you can also sell gift cards. I'm going to talk a little bit more about those things in detail. But I also want to tell you about Facebook Blueprint. It is a great resource that has all different types of helps and tutorials and videos to assist business owners using a business page on Facebook. It's obviously by Facebook. So if you're using it and using Facebook, you have some issues or some challenges, it's a great place to find information. So let's talk about ways that you can use your Facebook business page to sell. And this is a great example. It's a small boutique, and they sell a lot of different items from apparel to furniture and a lot of repurposed and recycled items. They're called Two Shabby Divas, and they sell product right off of their website. They typically, or I'm sorry, off of their Facebook page. They typically list the items and put several great pictures. I think they do a really good job of their pictures that they include. And then they will say, message us if you're interested. So you can then just click through on their main page and send them a message and let them know that you're interested in that piece. Another thing that they do a great job of is they do giveaways to help build their audience. This was an Easter giveaway they did that you can see here on the right. They asked people to like and share this post, to follow their Facebook page, and then post a favorite Easter tradition, and then your name would go in a drawing for this piece of jewelry that they were giving away. It helps to build their audience, which then when they post their regular items for sale, there are more people that can see that and interact with it. Another thing that they do is they have an Etsy shop that they sell things on. And Etsy has some requirements about what things you can and cannot sell. And typically they try to only have handmade items and or true antiques. So if some of your product doesn't fall in that line, it might not fit an Etsy shop, but obviously their handmade jewelry does. So they also direct people to their Etsy shop. And then on some of their other items that they run online on their Facebook page, they may actually list the price if they're running sales, and it's kind of first come, first serve of people who comment below to get that item. So they do a really good job of just moving things through their shop via this method on their Facebook business page, as well as when the shop is open. Another example of someone who's done a really good job with their Facebook page and social media is a little pottery shop called Just Kiln Me Now, which is an adorable name. But as soon as this whole crisis happened with COVID-19, she immediately jumped on top of getting people to paint their pottery at home. So she looked at what she was doing and how she could adapt it to what was happening. And so she immediately put this graphic on her Facebook page. She had an upcoming event that people were going to come into the shop and participate in, that she then took online so people could pick up the supplies and do it themselves at home. She also, at first, before she was prohibited from doing it, she was doing deliveries and letting people place their orders or paint something, and she'd pick it up and get it kilned and then deliver it back to them. So she was doing, excuse me, curbside pickup and deliveries for a while too with her website and with her Facebook page, and that was a really, really good fit for her. Another thing we know is that restaurants are all, of course, moving towards, they're having to do curbside and pickup and some delivery. And this is a really good example of a Mexican food restaurant, Leal's, that is using their Facebook page prolifically. They actually created a web page, or a Facebook page, sorry, called I Love Leal's, and has been using that to market everything they're doing for their customers during the current crisis. They've got really fun polls like, do you like the stuffed avocado, yes or no? And just getting people to interact and have fun with their Facebook page by commenting there. They also do a lot of live videos. In fact, pretty much every day, at least once or twice a day, they are online talking to customers, showing what they're doing to be really safe and careful. And one other thing they're doing that I think is really intriguing, sorry, I'm going to scoot back, that they're also doing, you'll see down here in the lower right on their menu, they're doing a grocery pack. So they're not only selling all these foods and family packs of food, but they also have some staples that people might be struggling to find. And I've heard a lot of other restaurants are doing this as well. I think it's a really great way to customize what you're doing or what you deliver to meet some needs in this current crisis. So again, they're doing a lot of live video, and it's really simple. This is not professionally shot. This is just done with a smartphone, and just has the employees talking to the customers. I also want to talk a little bit about Facebook groups. As I've talked with business owners, a lot of people are not super familiar with this, but it's something you can set up as a business owner, or even as a person. You can set up different groups that have different interests. And this particular one is called Gone to Market, and it is dedicated specifically to selling product. They find interesting and cool product that their clients like, and they sell it via this group. They just, they have a kind of an outline of how they expect people to behave, and also, when they invoice, they want you to pay that invoice in a timely manner, and they have their guidelines they list for that. But basically, what they do is they put the item online and they show pictures of it and the price, and you comment below with what size and the quantity and colors you want, and they leave it open for so many days, and then they close it off. They order the item. When they get it in, they ship it. So they do a lot of this and sell a lot of product that way. But another thing that they do is flash sales, which they have like potentially product coming in that they might have ordered too much of, or an overstock of product. And so they will go ahead and list those on this Facebook group, and people again can comment with the color style they want, how many they want. They put their email address, and then this company sends out an invoice. I believe they use PayPal, but you could also use Square or another type of point of sale system that you're using. They also do what they call next in line. So if somebody doesn't pay for their item within the guideline time, it's offered to the next person who might be waiting for it when they have limited items. But they will announce a flash sale that will happen over a weekend or over a couple days, that people then are watching for those items to pop up in their news feed, or if they don't, they head over to that page to look for them. So that's another thing you could consider, is to set up a Facebook group that would sell your products. So some tips for selling these things online through your Facebook page or a Facebook group is to post great pictures of the item for sale with your prices, depending on how you want to do it, whether you want to do it via a message or comments to let people claim the item. You can also put links to an Etsy shop if you have an Etsy or a shop in some other place. And of course, contests are always great because it makes it a more interactive way for people to get involved with your business. And if you have a very visual product, it's also a great idea to cross promote on Instagram. So, and then whenever possible, use videos, live streams, and virtual events to get people to interact and have a really good time with you, as well as purchasing your product. So I also want to spend just a couple minutes talking about Facebook Live videos and virtual events, because sometimes it's scary to get online and to do a live video or think about doing Facebook Live, but it's actually one of the best ways to engage with your clients and your customers. It also, the more of them you do, it raises your rating, per se, in the Facebook algorithms, so that more of your followers will be able to see you and see these videos in their news feed. So when someone comes online, the chance of them seeing your video is higher. But this is Santa Rosa Main Street, when all this was first starting, actually was doing videos visiting all the different businesses in their district and interviewing business owners and speaking with them, and just highlighting the services they had. So having video that talks about why you do what you do, why you're passionate about it. Don't afraid to be the expert in your field. I mean, you own your business because it's something you know a lot about. And so as a customer, I'm coming to you and for advice and your opinions on what will work and won't work, or how to use your product. So don't be afraid to use the video and step out and to be the expert in your field. A couple of other places we've seen video done really well is we've even seen Shogun Restaurant, a Shogun Japanese steakhouse. They're using a cute little mascot in a costume and doing features and showing their lunch specials. And so people watch for this little pink pig to pop up online and find out what's going on at Shogun. And then again, Liao's does an update pretty much daily on what they have going on. So having those interactions with people is always a great way to build your audience and to keep in communication. People are spending more time on social media right now, so it's a good way to stay in touch with them. We saw a couple other great examples I want to share with you that some Main Street communities are doing. And this first one is a virtual cash mob that was done in Raton, New Mexico. And what they did is they used 3 partners who came together and were encouraging local businesses to sell their product during a live streaming event. And this tells a little bit more information. It was the Raton Main Street, the Center for Community Innovation, and the Raton Cash Mob. And so the business owner would actually do the video and show the products they had for sale, and people had the option to buy it. And there were different ways that they could post that video, or that they could pay through different methods as well. So they, I believe, raised several $100s for each of the 2 businesses who have done this, but they just help coordinate it. They're following all this, state guidelines for health and safety right now, and the business owner is actually doing it from their business, but they're helping to facilitate it with some of the technology that the business owner might not have. So they've done a great job there. I believe that one of their clients actually also used GoFundMe as their payment source, and I think Amy will talk a bit more with you about that a little bit further on in the presentation. So another great example was the Noisy Waters Winery and Cellar. They did a really fun live video event where they walked around and talked about all the different product that was in their store and sampled it for people who were watching, which is very thoughtful of them. But they, through that, actually, you'll see here some results that the Midtown Ruidoso Association sent us. That they sold 70 bottles that they tracked with a promo code, and they had a $1 shipping program, and they've actually, through doing this video, have seen sales increase. So that it's been a good traffic driver to their website doing this social media Facebook Live. So some tips for doing videos and live events: you want to get the word out to your existing customers. If you have an email list or on Facebook or Instagram, however you're using it, make sure you let people know it's coming up so that they can choose to participate. You could also set up a business event for that live broadcast so people could see that and choose to get a reminder to participate in that event by watching it. I loved that the Ruidoso example that they used a promotion code to track the sales for that specific event. And then you obviously need to have a plan for payment, a plan for delivery, shipping, and pickup. And it's another great time to teach the customer about your product and services. So again, to be the expert in your field and share with them about why your product is the best product for them. So just quickly, I want to tell you about a new thing that Facebook launched, I believe about a week and a half ago now. They're calling it their Business Resource Hub for COVID-19. And the web address is down there at the bottom, but this is what it looks like. And this is where, if you click on Bring Your Business Online on that page, you now have the option, if you use Square or Cabbage, to sell gift cards directly through your Facebook page. So this will give people a way to support your business by buying the gift cards that we talked about through the New Mexico Buy Local site that Jesse mentioned earlier. And we want to be sure that every business has the opportunity. So this might be the quickest way for most of you is to go through your Facebook business page and choose Square or Cabbage. If you don't have either one, I believe they facilitate your signing up for one of those. So then you can be sure to sell gift cards through your Facebook page. And that's a really great thing to be able to do right now. They also talk about how you can boost sales and get more people looking at it. And again, they even encourage going live. It's really important. But they also talk about creating a story and sharing about your business through a post. So, compel people, give them a reason to support your business, and have fun with it, and people will engage with you. Again, if you do these things, then it puts you in a great position to get signed up with Buy NM Local, the Buy Buy for Tomorrow Today website that the New Mexico Economic Development Department has put together. And we'd love to get all of the businesses that are represented here signed up on that so that people can see your business and buy gift cards today to support your business. So another thing to do talking about sales is I want to talk just quickly through a couple of slides about Squarespace. If you don't sell gift cards, if you don't have a website, but you want to sell your product online, this is probably the quickest resource to get you up and running, and it's called Squarespace. It is everything you need to set up a one-stop website / e-commerce platform. And I want to show an example from earlier, Just Kill Me Now. She only sold in her store, and people would come in and paint. But when all of this started happening with the COVID-19 crisis, she realized she needed to get online fast and didn't have a lot of time, and it wasn't, super intricate or beautiful, and she'll even admit to it herself. But she set up within 2 days it took her to get all of her product listed online. And she set up an e-commerce website with Squarespace. And she used their lowest plan, which was $12 a month. They have some customized templates. You can use your own domain name. They walk you through every part of the process. But basically, if you have a product, you can list them all right there online, and people can opt to buy. And you can see in the lower corner, there's different ways that people can pay for that product that aren't necessarily tied to Square. So you can choose how you're going to accept payment. So if you need to get your product in a place that it can sell quickly, and you have an inventory that needs to list like this, and maybe listing it piece by piece on Facebook's not a great fit for you, I would encourage you to look at this tool and see if it might be something that would work for your business. It's pretty simple to get everything in there and up. She also tied it over to her social media account by advertising and talking about what she had on sale and what was coming in on stock. And then she shipped products out as quickly as possible to keep her customers happy. And I would encourage you to do the same. Look at this product and see if it's a good fit for you. So some tips. Find solutions with what you are already using. If there's something you're using, see if there is a way through your existing payment system to either take it online in a different way, or they may even have a product in place to set up a business store online with whatever system you're using to take payment right now. So check into that first. Use social media to interact with customers. It's challenging, but if you spend some time every day just getting out there and sharing about your product and interacting with people, it will make a difference in people engaging with you and buying your product. Look at creating virtual events that would encourage people to shop online and buy your product. And then when you're creating that online store, here's just a couple of tips. Make sure you keep those product descriptions short and accurate. And if there's some way to show people with a ruler or something what the dimensions are on that product, so that they have or some kind of like a Coke can next to whatever your product is, so people can understand the dimension, the comparison to something that they know in real life. Because there's nothing worse than thinking you're buying, a 15-inch tall statue and getting it, it's only actually 2 inches tall because there was no frame of reference for that in the picture. Be sure to collect email addresses of everyone you're interacting with, so that you can build a strong email list, because direct email is still the king when it comes to interacting with customers. It is the best way to do that, is that one-on-one communication. So hopefully that gave you some great ideas about using Facebook. And if you need Squarespace, it's a great way to start up an online store. And I'm going to turn it over now to Amy Barnhart to talk to you about crowdfunding.
Thank you, Robin. That was some great information to start with.
Thank you.
You can skip the slide. Thank you. So today we're going to be really focusing in on crowdfunding as far as it relates to businesses. So frequently we will see campaigns for people who are individuals who are crowdfunding. Maybe they have had a health crisis, or they're crowdfunding on behalf of a nonprofit organization, but today we're looking at it specifically for businesses. So the most basic definition for crowdfunding is the practice of funding a project or venture by raising many small amounts of money from a large number of people, typically via the internet. There are 4 types of crowdfunding that we'll be touching on today: equity, rewards, debt, and donations. I have 2 examples here of how 2 different crowdfunding platforms define crowdfunding. GoFundMe is a donation-based crowdfunding platform. So they're using sort of different language. You know, they're focusing on helping people overcome hardship and achieve aspirational goals, helping a friend or the entire community. You can do everything from pay for your own surgery to fulfill a student's dream of attending college. When we look at Fundable, which is a rewards and equity-based crowdfunding platform, they're talking about raising capital through the collective effort of friends, family, customers, and individual investors. So they're using the term investors here. Tapping into a large pool of individuals and then leveraging their funds for greater reach and exposure. So equity crowdfunding gives funders equity in your business. You can see Meow Wolf here in the bottom right-hand corner. They raised over $1 million in 48 hours. If you're not familiar with Meow Wolf, they're based out of Santa Fe. And when I first saw this picture on the WeFunder website, I was very confused because I didn't realize it was Meow Wolf, but I could tell that was the Caverns. And I'm a Carlsbad, New Mexico girl, so I was like, what are the Caverns doing on this equity crowdfunding website? But they are actually one of the featured companies on there because they raised so much money so quickly, and they've gone on to do so amazingly well. So you as the business are able to set the terms of how much equity you are willing to give up to your investors. You can utilize stocks or convertible notes. And this is a very recent form of crowdfunding, so it's actually the least well known because there was a law that was passed in 2017 that actually allowed people to invest in small startups like this. Rewards crowdfunding provides incentives to donors. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Kickstarter. That's a very well-known rewards crowdfunding platform. And the rewards can be as little as a thank you card all the way up to a VIP event or activity that you could be involved in as a contributor. The business does not have to pay back the money that they receive. And then usually people that are willing to support you in a rewards crowdfunding situation are so excited about your product or what you offer that they're willing to go out and really help spread the word for your business. You can see here, this is a company that it's a farm. They grow chili peppers, and they actually appear to use Kickstarter on an annual basis, and they basically get all of the money and pledges, you could say, up front. So then they kind of know how much they're going to be growing, and they have that money already. And so they're not going to be just growing and then stuck with a bunch of produce that they're not able to sell. This is a second example I wanted to show you from Kickstarter. This is a food truck that's trying to make the transition into a physical space. And so I'm not sure if this campaign started before or after COVID-19 hit, but they've kind of taken that language and they're using it to their benefit in this campaign. Because as you can see here on the bottom right-hand side, if you pledge $35 to them, they will deliver a meal for 2 to you. So they're basically taking this business that they're trying to grow into a physical space, and they're responding to the current crisis that we're in by emphasizing the fact that they can deliver food to you. And it sounds like amazing African food, and unfortunately it's in Fargo. Otherwise, I would be definitely eating there. So debt crowdfunding is another one that could be very useful to your business at this point in time. The business raises money that it does ultimately pay back as a loan. But sites like Kiva don't look at the same factors to qualify borrowers that a traditional bank does. your credit history, your length of business existence, your level of risk to lenders is a much lower priority for them. So if you are looking for a larger loan, you do have to meet more qualifications. And one of the things that this platform does require is that before they publicly post your campaign to their site, you have to recruit 50 to 30 lenders from your own network, say family, friends, customers who contribute. And then once you hit a certain number, then you're up on the site. So you can see these 3 businesses in the upper right-hand corner. They've all posted campaigns that are related to the impact that COVID-19 has had on their businesses. In the bottom left is a 37 vendor shopping mall who their campaign was to raise $2,500, which they did. And they had a total of 45 days to do so. To the right of that is a photo of their loan length. So they have 24 months to pay that money back. And there's no interest on that loan either, which is another great benefit to using this platform. So on to donation crowdfunding. This is one where you are not required to pay back any funds or provide rewards. However, you can relay to your donors that you will provide them with rewards, and I'll show you an example of that in a few slides. These sites historically have been used for raising money for individuals. However, businesses are now tapping into these sort of platforms and utilizing them as well. So you can see this example here. This is Goat Yoga based out of the Chicago suburb, and they have a very small goal of $1,750. And they're really just trying to raise money so they can continue to care for and feed the goats. So they're not trying to replace payroll or income necessarily for the business owners. They're just looking at trying to continue to maintain and care for the goats. So what to look for or be aware of when you're choosing a crowdfunding platform and a type of crowdfunding. So you want to make sure the look and feel of the site is appropriate for your business. Is it easy to use? Will your customers understand it? I think in the current situation that we're in, probably the debt crowdfunding or the donation crowdfunding would be the best way to go. You could potentially do some rewards crowdfunding as well, depending on what you're able to offer. Payment processing and fees are also something to keep in mind. I have those 4 example sites that I used in the last few slides. I have across the bottom of the slide here what the fees are associated with those. So WeFunder, the equity crowdfunding platform, charges 7.5% of the total amount raised. Kickstarter charges both 5% of the total amount raised plus a 3 to 5% payment processing fee. Kiva is 0. You, as somebody seeking a loan in the United States, you don't have to pay anything in interest, and they don't charge anything for credit card processing either. GoFundMe doesn't charge anything for the platform use, but they do charge 2.9% of all transactions, as well as 30 cents per transaction. So when you're looking at these sites, that is something to keep in mind and to also include in your total fundraising goal when you reach that point. You also want to make sure that the site you choose has good marketing and social networking capabilities. GoFundMe, for example, allows you to post to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn directly from the site. You can also send text messages and emails directly from the site. So that is very useful. You might be looking at a site that doesn't have some of those capabilities, and so you'd want to consider how that would impact the ease of your crowdfunding campaign. And then traction. A lot of this will come down to you promoting your crowdfunding campaign yourself, but also if you're getting a lot of response and engagement, that can also bump you up to some of those main pages of those websites. So you want to make sure that this is one of those programs that's going to give your campaign some traction as well. And then also keep in mind that depending on the site, you may have a set period of time in which you have to raise the money. So for Kickstarter, for example, there's a max number of days, which is 60, though they do recommend 30. So if you need the money, if you need to extend the campaign over a longer period of time, that's not necessarily going to work for you. So the first thing when you're developing your crowdfunding campaign is being realistic about your goal. Choose something that you can achieve, but also be aware that you can increase it if your financial needs grow, or if you hit your goal very quickly and you really could use some more money, you can certainly update that and increase it, and then just let your followers know why you have done that. Just articulate to them. You should also consider showing a detailed cost breakdown of where the funder's money is going to be, what it's going to be supporting for your business. And then additionally, when you're coming up with that goal, consider what those payment processing and platform usage fees will be. If, say, with the example of GoFundMe, which charges 2.9% and 30 cents per transaction, you could be looking at, if you had just a $2,000 campaign, you might be looking at around $90 in fees. So I would suggest considering bumping that campaign up to $2,100, or say $2,250 if you kind of like those $50 numbers a little better. But just make sure you're including those costs in there and that you don't fall short as a result. I just included a few examples here so you can see sort of the different numbers. On the bottom left, these are fundraisers for large companies in big cities. So they've set much higher fundraising goals, 300,000, 750,000. Over on the right-hand side, we've got the goat yoga example again. They're just looking at raising 1,750. And then I found a bar in New York City that was just looking to raise $5,000 to help support their staff. And I have some text here from that campaign, and they bolded, all donations will be distributed to the hardworking staff. So they're coming right out front and letting you know this is exactly where that money is going to go. Choose a title that tells a story. You can see these examples here all use action verbs, and they also use the title of the business. Keep City Light Books alive. Support Painted Lady staff. Keep Dulala Salon in business. Save the diner. Happy Hounds need help. So they're all using these action verbs that are inspiring. They've got the name of the business in there, so you don't have to search around for it. All of these titles are between 4 and 8 words, which according to GoFundMe is the optimal number of words you would want in your campaign title. These are also short enough that you could use them as a hashtag for your campaign when you're promoting it on social media as well. So tell your story. Make it personal and compelling. Be honest and open. Share your story in the way that you would with a friend. Ask somebody else to read through that story as well, so we can make sure that you're conveying exactly what it is that you want to share with your audience. Make it easy for people to be able to skim through. You can use headlines, subheadings, bolded text, any way to make certain information pop out to your readers. Answer basic questions. What is your business? What do you do? What happened to you? Why is this an important campaign? Why should we support it? Check out similar fundraisers that are already on sites such as GoFundMe or Kickstarter and see how they've formatted theirs, what they're communicating. And then you might even consider providing a mailing address for people who prefer to mail in donations versus using the internet. I know that's how my mother is. She will send a check to a GoFundMe campaign. She will not do it online. Descriptions of 400 words or less tend to receive the most donations. So another thing to keep in mind. I did want to point out on the right-hand side, I have an example here from a consignment shop out of Sacramento. And if you get all the way down to the second to last paragraph, they finally mention buried in there that once you send, we're not asking for a donation. We're actually going to convert your money into store credit or gift certificate. And then they go on to explain to you how they're going to do that. So that to me is very important information. And if this were my campaign, I would have made a point of bolding that, giving it its own subheading, making sure my donors were aware of it, and that they understood that this was going to be a little reward for them for contributing. Use compelling and engaging photos and videos in your campaign, showing the people who work in your business, showing customers in your space, showing product. The bottom right-hand corner, we have Peter Coyote, who is an actor, talking about the City Lights bookstore in San Francisco and the impact it's had on the community. Make sure your photos are clear and high resolution. The last thing we want is a grainy photo that doesn't really convey that we are a business that maybe has our full act together. So we want to make sure it's a good photo, it's compelling, it's high quality, and we can use, 5 or more photos to have a greater impact. And if we are using multiple photos, then we can show different aspects of our business. We can show our customers. We can have a photo of our staff. We can have a photo of our products, have a variety of different things in there that represent your business. So when you first start reaching out to people and sharing your campaign, start with your inner network first. Start with your close friends, start with your family, start with your top customers. Those are going to be the people that are going to initially launch your campaign for you. It's recommended that you solicit your first 30% of your campaign from those people, and that you ask them to contribute before you start actively publicizing it. There's a big difference between seeing somebody post a campaign in which they're trying to raise $10,000 and they're already at $3,000, and then seeing somebody post a campaign for $10,000 and they've only got $5 raised. So as maybe an acquaintance of that business owner, or a casual customer, or maybe someone who's not even familiar with the business, if I see, oh gosh, they've only got $5, then that might not be a campaign that I want to really jump on board with, because I want to be a part of the winning team. So if I know that your campaign's a winner, I might contribute my money to that. You also might look at using that inner network to identify some matching funds. So what we do with that then is we say, hey, Uncle Bobby, Aunt Sue, would you be willing to contribute $250 to this campaign? But I don't want you to contribute it yet. I'm going to use that as leverage. I'm going to go on my Facebook page and I'm going to post to my followers and say, if you can help me raise $250, I have donors that will match that. So that is a way that we encourage action and that we get people to quickly contribute money. And you can also ask this inner circle to help share your campaign via text message, email, social media. That inner circle, those are your strongest supporters. So those are going to be the ones that don't mind really blasting your campaign out to all their friends and encouraging people to contribute. Your acquaintance or your more casual customer might be willing to share your campaign on their social media, but they're not going to be as strong of an advocate as your inner circle will be. So finally, social media, all the different things that Robyne mentioned in her portion of this presentation are things you can utilize to your benefit when you're running a crowdfunding campaign. One that we did not talk about was creating a Facebook Live event about your campaign. You cannot do this on your business page. You can, however, do it to your personal page. And the reason why this would be something you might be interested in doing is that based on the Facebook algorithms, they bump up live events higher into people's feeds than just a regular posting. So that will pop up in more people's feeds than what you would normally post would. So it would be worth your while to consider that. You can do a Facebook Live talking about your campaign if you have your own Facebook group, or if there's another Facebook group that supports your community or maybe your district, you could post in there. You could schedule a Facebook business event and use that as a way to promote your crowdfunding campaign. And then any post that you place on your Facebook page, consider putting the link to your campaign in the first comment, not in the post itself. Facebook doesn't like you to leave their website. So if you have a link posted in your main post, they will not, based on the algorithms, it will not pop up in other people's feeds as frequently. You can also post your campaign to Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. On Instagram, if you're an Instagram user, you know that you cannot post a website link to your story or in your text for a post. But what you can do is change your URL in your business description to the URL of your crowdfunding campaign. You can also embed a campaign widget in your website. If you're utilizing GoFundMe, they have that capability. When you update your campaign on the crowdfunding platform, make sure you share that to your social media. Use your campaign hashtag, which hopefully is also the title of your campaign. And then when you're updating the social media, consider updating up to 3 times a week, 1 at a minimum, but 3 times is going to get you the most action and the most traction with your campaign. Also consider using language and images that inspire action. We talked about this earlier as far as choosing a title that has an action verb, but today's the 15th. We're asking everyone in this Facebook group to donate $15. If we can raise $1,000 in the next 24 hours, a generous donor has agreed to match another $1,000. We are $950 short of meeting our goal. With everyone's help, I know we can reach it. So think about language you can use to really help break it down for people. And you might even consider reminding people, hey, $5 from each of our customers can make a difference. The cost of a slice of our famous pecan pie can help us meet our goal. People need to be reminded, say you only need to raise another $250, that takes 10 people giving at $25. So just remind them, when you break it down to a smaller amount for people, it's easier for them to wrap their heads around and understand how they can make a difference. Finally, we want to make sure we're thanking our donors, and there's a lot of different ways we can do that. If you're using GoFundMe, they allow you to send a message out directly from that platform to people who've given. We can send emails, we can send text messages, a handwritten card or a fun postcard could be fun. We could do a public thank you, meaning maybe once our business is back open again, we will have some sort of display that shows all the different people that contributed to our campaign. We can do social media shout outs, tagging them in posts or in a thank you photo. We can do a Facebook Live video thanking everyone, as well as calling out all of our donors there as well. And then after your campaign is done, after you're successful, don't forget that you should go back and update your donors as to what you're doing, how your business is doing, and share your success and your photos, your videos, any news coverage your campaign might have received, etc. Finally, I wanted to just share some tips here. At the bottom there, you can see the different crowdfunding websites that I talked about. This is not necessarily saying you should use one or the other of these, but I know that these are all highly recommended, and there are many, many other crowdfunding platforms out there depending on what you're looking for. GoFundMe has tons of amazing information on developing a campaign, and a lot of these tips were culled from those different sources there. And then also there's just lots of great articles out on the web that talk about crowdfunding and what has been successful, other businesses that have seen success. So I would suggest checking out some of these links, learning a little bit more if you're interested in exploring crowdfunding. Finally, Robyne and I want to thank you on behalf of New Mexico Main Street. We have really enjoyed putting together this content for all of you, and I hope that it is very helpful to what you're trying to do over this time, and we hope this time is nearing an end. But if there's any questions that anybody has, please type them in the chat. We're happy to help answer any of those. There is a handout that you can download from the webinar as well that is all these slides, so you'll have all that information to take home with you from here. Please check out these links on the left-hand side. We have our New Mexico Main Street website, and then we also have a resource page dedicated to COVID-19 related resources. We up that every single day. We post all webinar links there as well. So if you're not sure what's coming up, visit that page every day, and there will be new information on funding sources, grant opportunities, and learning opportunities as well. And I think, Jessica, should we turn it back over to you?
Oh, sure. Hey, that was great. Thank you so much, everyone. We do have a few questions. And before I read those aloud, though, I did want to plug our next webinar. The next webinar is called Key Partnerships in Your Business Mix. It's taking place next Thursday at 2:15 p.m. For the next 7 weeks, we're doing webinars every Thursday at 2:15 p.m. So check out our website to see those webinars. It's a variety of different topics. Okay, first question, would you please send out a link for all participants? I'd like to share with my local chambers of commerce and local businesses to help them. Yes, I will be emailing all of you a copy of the handout and the video link. Any chance the buynmlocal.com and the Buy Tomorrow Today portals might add a steals and deals of the day post feature to facilitate quick and or daily specials? That's a really great idea. I will pass that along to the administrators of that website. Let's see, just a comment, that was great, I'm inspired. The next one, let's see, here's a long one. Necessity is the mother of invention. It's so cool how many examples you have regarding creativity in the time of crisis. I have loads of questions regarding the investment crowdfunding. I feel like to go down that right now, we would need to have a proper business valuations. Do you all have any suggestions regarding execution for accurate valuations?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Yeah, we have a colleague who has a webinar coming up who probably would know the answer to that.
Okay, let's see here.
Jessica, I would just refer them that a question like that's really complicated, and they're welcome to contact New Mexico Main Street, and maybe we can figure out if Sean or someone else could help them.
Okay.
It's not my area of expertise.
Yeah, me neither, unfortunately.
Any suggestions for service businesses that can't sell inventory online?
Absolutely. I would consider doing gift certificates, selling gift cards to get people to purchase now for later on. They could definitely do that. Service-based industries are definitely different than a retail business, but I think you still have the opportunity to use that with your Facebook page. You can sign up for those gift cards and get people to purchase gift cards for services.
Okay, next question. Could you share more about available grants?
That's another tough one. I think there's information on our COVID-19 page. The grants, that's unfortunately not something that I work with on a day-to-day basis, but I think there's some other resources we could connect you with on our COVID-19 page. Amy?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that would probably be the best place as far as what we're all available and able to connect people with right now. It's so unfortunate because everything is changing every day. So, now all this government funding from the federal government, I guess, some of it is gone and they're working at allocating more. And so it just changes every 5 seconds. And so I would definitely suggest visiting that website regularly just to see what is being posted there, because anything we come across, we pass along to Jessica and she makes sure that website is as up to date as possible.
Absolutely. And they can also connect with their local chamber or economic development entity, and their small business development center would be able to plug them into those and potentially even help with filling out some of those as well.
Mm-hmm.
Comment regarding grants. Someone says, check out the website nmarts.gov. They have a huge list for art, music, and other things.
Perfect.
Okay, one more. We have a couple more. One is on the website, where do I find upcoming webinars? So on nmmmainstreet.org, there is the coronavirus resources. It's in bright red. If you click on that, on the right-hand side of that page, you'll see webinars. That's where all of our webinars and other important other resources, other webinars are listed. Okay, one more question. Can you please expand on how Facebook algorithm works? Is it better to not put links in the update?
I don't, but like Robyne probably knows the answer better to that than I do, though I think I'm the one that was saying to post it in the comment, not in the post itself.
Correct. I would probably put it both places just to, I agree. The Facebook algorithms are changing all the time. And honestly, right now, if you're a business, I think the number is less than like 5 to 7% of your followers actually see your post on news feeds. So the best thing to do is use video, as Amy mentioned, video, and live. Anything live you can do, Facebook Live. And she mentioned also using the personal life event, that could put stuff about your business on that, and that could help drive it up if you're using your personal Facebook account in conjunction with your business page. Not everyone does, but pictures are great, videos are better, and algorithms today will probably be different next week. So it is really important that you interact with people as well. If somebody comments, make sure you're commenting back. If somebody has a negative comment, be sure to even comment on those and find a good way to spin it. You know, we appreciate your feedback. So just make sure you're constantly interacting as well with those posts and videos that you put out there. Hopefully that answers your question. Algorithms are hard. We could probably do a whole workshop on those.
Okay, it looks like I have one more. Are there going to be other webinars that focus on website development again, or Etsy-like pages? I don't believe we have anything like that scheduled. Next week is going to be about online engagement. But if you have questions about social media or website, go ahead and send us an email. info@nmmainstreet.org. Again, that's info@nmmainstreet.org. Let us know what you'd like to, what your situation is, and we can try to help you with that. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions or chats, so I think it might be time to wrap up.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us. This will be on YouTube, and we will go ahead and send you an email with all those links.
Thank you, everyone.